What is happening, Big Brown Breakdown listeners? The Brownies, the Brown team, the B team. I don't know if we want to be called the B team. It's never good. I was on the B team in middle school basketball. Then I got promoted to the A team. It's so weird how they do that in middle school. Prairie Middle School, Aurora Middle School, they did that. There's so many kids trying out for basketball. You'd have the A team, which is obviously the really good kids. You have the B team, which is mediocre kids. There's C team, the kids probably shouldn't be playing.
Wow, they had a C team?
A, B, and C. Yeah. The C team got less practice time than the B and A team. It's so fucked up. I remember this kid, Wes Felix, who could, in 8th grade, he could dunk the ball. He's definitely on the A team.
Was he super tall or was he just
really freak?
Athletic?
His sister, Allison Felix, she ran for USC, and she's an Olympic gold medalist in track and field.
Well,
she's
there
also
you go.
Like face of Nike for track and field. He was fast, too. He ran at SC. Oh. Tried playing football. We just went down a weird memory lane with Wes Felix and Allison Felix. Shout out to Allison. I saw her at I was working out at a Velocity. You know what Velocities are? They're like they're like cool gyms. They're all around the nation, and like athletes can go there. They have regular clients too, but there's one off San Vicente. I used to see her in there all the time. But she also went to my high school and middle school. Freak.
Wow.
Freak athlete. Yeah, that's the way we're starting that off. Anyways, back in studio. Excited to do this one. Not for no particular reason. I'm feeling a tad better. I talked about it a little bit on the Fire and Kid podcast. Turns out drinking at least 12 cups of coffee a day and fasting and doing all that's not the best thing for you for a long period of time,
No,
I guess.
Probably not.
Yeah, I've gotten straight doctors, people who've had the same issues. So shout out to all the fans who've sent me DMs or emails for recommendations on what to do, and the doctors they saw and how it helped them, and they have the exact same problems. Some were ulcers, some were the same thing where they're drinking coffee and fasting, and your body turns. There's a name for it.
Okay. Where
the acidity is so high, the reason you're thrown up is your body's trying to get rid of that. So that's why I'm trying to, And long story short, I mean, most of you guys listen to Fire Kid. If you didn't, obviously threw up at Rogan's. We all know that. You guys heard that one. And then on my way to my rehearsal, I threw up in the Uber all over my clothes. And on the Uber, I had coffee that morning, so threw up all over the Uber. And then in the meeting, pretended that I wasn't sick, even though I looked like Tom Hanks from Philadelphia by the end of it. And yeah, and then, all right, so get through that, get home, sick as a dog. Goes away the next day. I take Pepto-Bismol. Started not to drink coffee. It started to go away a little. But then when I eat or drink certain foods, it really fucks you up. So then when I'm on the set of the Golden Globes, it's after party. Everyone's getting drinks. The only drink I drink is Campari sodas. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'll have a Campari soda. I didn't realize Camparis have the alcohol acidity super, super high. But there's no sugar, but the acidity is super high. Yeah. I drank 2 of those, and then after the Golden Globes, no after party for me, not feeling good, sweating like a motherfucker. They get in my car. They had a driver for me. He's going down. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm about to throw up again. I throw up in my mouth, barely make it. He drops me right off in front of my house, and I throw up in the lawn.
Dear God.
Everywhere, man. But since then, I haven't thrown up. It's Tuesday. That was Sunday.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. My stomach's still not 100%. Everyone sent me all these recommendations. So I've been off coffee now for quite some time, which is brutal. You guys know me. For a guy like me to be off coffee is a brutal. I've never done shows without coffee. So it should be interesting. I'm in Portland, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we'll see how that goes. I'll figure it out. I have matcha tea right now, which they told me is okay. Like I can't have a bunch of them, but matcha tea's okay. Regular tea's okay, but coffee for a couple of days I got to stay off of. At least a couple of days.
Have you ever been off coffee for a while before this?
No, I tried once going cold turkey, and I swear to God I was on my couch like in cold sweats and shivering. I mean, this is a guy starting a goddamn coffee company. That's a bad look.
Well, I mean, a day off, 2 days off, that's fine. 3 days off. You gonna take the whole week off, or?
I'm gonna try, because what I don't want to have happen is I'm like, oh, I'm feeling better. Let me, when I'm in Portland on stage, try coffee again, and then I have to throw up.
Yeah, I mean, just don't drink as many a day. I think that's the biggest thing. 16 cups a day.
Yeah, I know. That's even crazy. Just one glorious cup would be nice right now. Ugh. Yeah, I'm addicted to it. Super addicted to it. Got my ride back, too. Got the ride back.
How was it?
Yeah, the customer service is just not great. So what they missed when I was smoking in the front and the car shut down, again, if you guys missed it, last week, before I threw up in the car of an Uber, the reason I was taking an Uber is because my car broke down on the 405. So they said something, a rock or something came in through my ear vent and punctured some of these pipes.
Okay.
That's what caused the car to freaking shut down. Yeah, so got that. I caught the Mighty Duck because I have the duck wing on the back. Got that bad boy back. The customer service is just not. But I guess they're known for it. Jay Leno's talked about it. Like, it's California. It's off Santa Monica Boulevard. If you've ever been in California, it's like one of the busiest streets in the world. Tons of people get their cars there. So they're like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's like an Apple store. Like, hey, man, my Apple's fucked up. Like, okay, cool, man. There's a million people behind you. We don't give a fuck.
My Apple's fucked up.
Yeah, it's a bummer. It's a bummer you can't do shit, really. What are you going to do? I mean, write a Yelp review or some shit?
No.
You know, Netflix took off. They've taken off or they're going to take off. So you know how when you watch a show, let's say you watch El Chapo or Stranger Things 2 or Dave Chappelle's comedy special or Amy Schumer's, you can rank it.
Like stars,
1 through 5. Uh-huh. Well, the Republicans who were so upset at Amy Schumer when she said those anti-Trump comments or whatever, was talking shit about Trump, so they can just go on Netflix and give her special half a star.
Yeah.
So it fucks her, right?
Yeah.
So they got rid of that, and now when you rank it, I think you can still rank it 1 through 5, but it doesn't affect the score. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All it does. So let's say you watch a show and you give it a 1. Well, then it just won't recommend similar shows to you. If you give it a 5, then it's going to recommend more shows like that.
Okay.
Because the people that leave negative comments, Yelp reviews, the negative YouTubers.
Yeah, I don't like those systems either. I don't like it on Yelp. Because you could have a personal problem with someone that works there and you give them crappy reviews.
It can be too personal. Because someone can be like, oh, I don't like it for that reason, but the product is good.
Yeah.
But they write a shitty review.
Maybe you broke up with them and
who knows?
Something happens. I mean,
who knows? Yeah, who
stuff.
knows what you're... Maybe, who knows? Mm-hmm. I have no idea. It's smart of Netflix to do. Those Dave Chappelle specials are brilliant. Have you seen them?
I saw the first one.
You didn't see the second one in the Belly Room?
No, there's a more recent then, right?
Well, so he released both of them. So there's 2. If you go to it, it'll let you pick between the 2.
All right. I do remember when he came out with the brand new one, but that was a few months ago. I watched it.
Yeah, these are 2 new ones.
Oh, okay. So new ones.
He just came out. Right around New Year's.
Oh, didn't watch them yet then.
He just dropped them.
They're good? They're amazing?
They're good. Yeah. Hell yeah, they're good. They're brilliant. How about I get a text yesterday from this guy who was I was going to buy this home. This is last year. And, you have to get your home inspected. Guy's a big MMA fan. I get a text from... he has my number because he would check all the stuff on the houses I was going to buy. I get this text from him and goes, hey, man, just want you to know, if Chin doesn't beat up Bryan Callen, I want in.
What the
We'll do a full countdown. He's 50 too, by the way.
Oh, that's fair.
He's like, we'll do a full countdown video, sponsors, T-shirt, weigh-in. I'm like, I didn't respond. He's probably listening to this now. Sorry, dude.
Oh, man.
I'm like, you got to relax, man. I'm not trying to get Bryan in a legit beat-up fight.
Oh, man. I kind of feel bad now. Everyone's there. I'm getting legitimate comments saying dude, don't hit him. Don't hurt him or anything. I'm like, we're not.
Dude, Bryan's a tough guy, man.
That's what I'm saying. In the beginning, everyone was saying, oh, he would destroy me. That's why I was like, what? I can't believe this. And then
I can't believe it.
I can't believe that everyone would think that he would destroy me. And then when you were like, I don't know who would I give it to, at least I would be like...
That pissed you off.
If you would have said, well, you're younger, you're bigger, most likely you would. But you were like, it's a toss-up.
Dude, Bryan's athletic, man.
I know.
And he's trained, though.
I know.
He trained.
I don't care.
What if you knocked him out, man?
I would never hit him hard, though. I think... See, I don't lose my temper like that.
What if he hit you hard?
If he was legitimately trying to knock me out, then then things might get a little weird. Yeah.
Oh, I hope that happens. I really do hope that happens.
But he's right though. If I got tired, that would be the way to destroy me.
But you guys, what are we doing? 3 2-minute rounds?
That sounds good to me.
That's pretty standard for amateur boxing. Yeah.
Perfect then.
I think MMA too. I think they do 3 2-minute rounds or 3 3s. It's 3 3s. Pretty sure.
3 3s. Okay, but 3-2 sounds good.
Yeah, for boxing, 3 2s. Yeah, that's standard.
All right.
That'd be healthy for you.
100% down.
That'd be really good for you. I can't wait for that. As far as what's going on in the fight world, we have a fight this weekend, which we will make picks break down. Obviously, next weekend's the big one, which is January 20th, UFC 220, Stipe versus Francis. And then my show at the Boston Wilbur is the night before, Friday night, with special guests. That bitch is sold out. I'm so excited for that, man. I'm glad I'm getting reps in Portland before that one, too. I'm excited for Portland. You ever been to Portland?
No.
Damn, you never been to Portland.
What's there that's...
Best Thai food in the world.
Oh.
It's supposed to be, my brother's, one of his best friends, this guy, Siam, we call him Buster. He's Thai. His family owns one of the best Thai places in California.
Jeez.
But he lives in Seattle.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, Portland has the best Thai food in the world.
Never would have thought.
I know. We went there when Brian and I were there. We went there. So Portland has amazing food, man. Best Thai food. There's this place called Meat and Bread, which is the best sandwich you ever have. Then they have Voodoo Donuts. They have Blue Star Donuts. I see you guys hit me up about Blue Star Donuts. Yeah, don't care. We have Blue Star here. Voodoo's better than Blue Star. No disrespect to Blue Star. Blue Star is also a $6 donut. I don't know if that's how it is in Portland, but off Abbott Kenny, Blue Star is a $6 donut. I have a problem with that. They're good. They're a little too thick for me, though. But if you go to Voodoo Donuts and it's the thick chocolate glazed, just the chocolate glaze, that's nice.
I still have never tried a Voodoo donut either.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a Voodoo in Studio City.
Is it like a long wait? I'm guessing it's a long wait.
I don't know. Special K, shout out to Special K Keeley. She, I think, stood in line over there. Or I don't think it's too bad. It dies down, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It goes in and out.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah, you definitely need to. But Sidecar Donut's hard to beat. But Portland, amazing food. I'm excited for Portland. Super, super excited for Portland. Should we jump some current events, my man?
Sounds good. We got to text from a friend about this, that John McCarthy is actually going to be a guy joining the Bellator commentating team. Color commentating.
Okay, I love Big John. So is he still going to be a referee?
No, that's the other thing we found out. Okamoto got a text message from Scott Coker that confirmed that McCarthy is actually retiring from officiating.
He's just going to go full-time
straight up commentator, yeah.
Good for him, man. Good for him. Good pickup by Bellator. He's one of the best guys. He's been doing it so long. I really haven't heard him as far as an analyst. Let's see what it says here. Bellator today announced Big John McCarthy is joining the Viacom-owned promotion, color commentator, which kicks off January 20th forum. The promotion also announced contract extension with Chael Sonnen, all right, who moved to the number 2 MMA player, including broadcast work. With the addition of Big John to our broadcast, we have put together the premier group of MMA commentators ahead of our January 20th debut. With John, Chael providing analysts, you're getting 2 people who have spent more time in the cage than they've spent with headsets on. That will translate to positive. Not always, but I like where they're at with that. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Smith will be missed there. First, I want to say how thankful I am for the opportunity I've been given to work with an incredible team at Bellator. Yeah. Everyone who signs Bellator says the same thing. I cannot think anyone I'd rather be working for than Scott Coker. It's true. It's a super easy work environment, meaning it's a positive. There's no negative. There's no pressure. When I say no pressure, I mean it's not. There's no pressure from the upper brass.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Like they're not mean or everything's super positive there, which is kind of new and refreshing. That's cool, man. I love Big John. Hope he does a great job. I'm sure he will.
That's a loss for the refereeing world, though, right?
Yeah, he's the best ref in the world. Yeah, and and the thing is that we need good at refs.
Yeah,
there's not a ton of them. There's maybe, as far as quality refs, if I was a fighter who I'd want to be in there with me, there's maybe 5 of them. that's being generous. Maybe 3. There's probably 3 you'd want in there.
Yeah.
John McCarthy being number 1.
And you did like Herb before, but then...
Like Herb, he's had his mistakes lately. You know, I think the pressure's getting to him. The criticism's getting to him a little, but Herb's usually up there. Rosenthal's back.
Yeah, that was crazy to see him back.
I know.
I had no idea.
I know. Did that stint. Did this time in the pen. Now he's out. He's good. Yeah, there's not a ton. There's not a ton, man. That's by far that's the captain, you know.
Mark Goddard, he's actually really good too.
Mark Goddard's very, very good. You guys would know him. He had his, he was amazing referee before this, but he had his encounter with Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
He was the one who Conor pushed and all that stuff. He's also the one who told Conor to pipe down when he was in a cornerman. So you guys might know him from that. But he's also a ridiculous referee. Yeah, that's good. Good pickup for Bellator. I've never heard John do commentary. He has such a wealth of knowledge, like just a huge freaking encyclopedia of MMA knowledge. It should be good.
Cool. All right.
What
Next
else you
one.
got?
Max Holloway. It's official. He's set to defend his title against Frankie Edgar at UFC 222.
Where's it at? Vegas?
March 3rd, T-Mobile Arena in Vegas.
I was really hoping they'd do one in Hawaii.
It's on Fight Pass.
No, it's not.
Main event for a Fight Pass.
No, it's not. That's not. No, UFC 22 has a main event, and we have all the fights you need to watch to get ready. Bless vs. Frank Yeager. Oh, no. Fight Pass is saying if you want to get ready for it. This is a huge pay-per-view, man. How dare you, Chin?
I just saw that
UFC
poster.
22 would never be on Fight Pass. Fight Pass, unfortunately, is not going like everyone planned. It's actually going terrible, despite what you hear. But UFC 22, the pay-per-view, yeah, it's definitely not on Fight Pass. So far, they have Max Holloway, Frankie Edgar, CB Dollaway, Hector Lombard. That's a fun fight. Stefan Struve, Andre Arlovsky. All right, that card's going to need some more firepower for sure.
Mackenzie
Dern. You got Kat Zingano coming back. That card's going to need some hitters to get some hype on there. As great as Max Holloway is, and a lot of people have him pound for pound number 1, they're going to need something else on there. Frank Edgar is always a fan favorite, so it should do decent. But love that fight. I wish they would give Max Holloway, because there's enough Hawaiian power to do a big card in Hawaii. I don't get it. Maybe they're worried about the gate. Although, listen, Hawaii is a fight culture, man. They love fighting.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they don't think they can pack, one of those huge arenas.
They said it was something to do with outdoors, right? So you can't there's only outdoor arenas you can do it in. I heard something about that. And then since you can't predict the weather, they don't want to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I could be completely wrong, though.
Well, Hawaii's known for their terrible weather, up and down weather. I mean, it's pretty easy to guess. I mean, there is a rainy season. There's a down season. But outside that, you can bet your sweet ass it's going to be sunny. I mean, Hawaii's, to me, the greatest place on earth. If you're in a vacation, Hawaii. No ISIS, no cartel members, great food.
There's a lot of homeless people there, though.
Depends in Honolulu in the major cities, but Kauai, Oahu, a lot of it there's not. It just depends where you're at. But any city you go to, there's not that many.
Well, when I went, I guess I went to one of those areas where it was just everywhere. I was surprised.
Probably Honolulu, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Hawaii's my favorite place on earth. Yeah, but I wish they would do one. I see what you're saying. They're worried because it's open ended, so there's no. Well, there's a basketball team out there, right? University of Hawaii has a basketball team.
University of Hawaii?
Yeah, I think. There's Hawaii Pacific. But college campuses, they really don't use those. Yeah, they have they're in the Big West, right?
Hawaii, yep.
Yeah. So, at least do California. Why not do it in LA so it's closer for the Hawaiians to get there? Although Vegas isn't that much further. It's all good. I just wish they'd do, because think about it, you could have Yancey on there. You could have freaking, obviously, the pound for pound, Max Holloway. You have Travis Brown. You have homeboy who just called out Bisping, Tavares.
Brad Tavares.
BJ Penn.
Just to show up there.
He still wants to fight, so you could just have him like a gimme fight, like a CM Punk or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But Hawaii, they've always had just a strong presence in fighting. Always, always, always. I wish they would do that there. Why not? It'd be so much more fun. Oh, here we go, Vegas again. That's the easy play, but good for Max. That environment would be nuts for Max Holloway in Hawaii.
Yeah. I think Max did talk to Dana recently, and then Dana did say he would do it this year.
Really? And listen, I know I'm like, come on, do it. There's a lot that goes into that. Yeah. There's so much that goes. The planning, it's not, I don't know if they assume Max would become this, pound for pound top 3 in the world. And there's a whole lot of planning. Their calendars are marked, a year out. So it's not like, oh, Max is the bomb now. Let's go to Hawaii. It really doesn't work like that as much as we want. I'm just saying you could set Hawaii up. There's a presence there. There's a culture. You have the roster. You have the fighters. It'd be a home run. It'd also be completely different than what you're doing. It'd be exciting. What else you got?
Cool.
That's a great fight. Hopefully that card gets some firepower on it, though.
Right on. Okay, so Dana White, Stephen Espinoza, and Conor McGregor going back and forth about the pay-per-view numbers for Mayweather versus McGregor.
What'd they say?
A lot of things. So, that one Kevin Iole interview with Dana White, the long one?
I still haven't seen it.
So there's a lot of good nuggets in there.
Is there?
Including this, where Dana says, think about this, and I don't give a shit about Showtime's fucking full of shit press release they put out. It's the biggest fight ever in combat sports history. It did over 6.7 million buys, and if the service didn't drop, it would have gotten closer to 7 million. So it was the biggest event ever.
Let's see. It was the biggest box event ever without a boxer. It was it was only one boxer involved in the fight. White went on to say that despises the Showtime crew and vowed to never work with them again. Jesus. And then Espinoza sounds like he's upset because we committed the cardinal sin of telling the truth when we released the accurate total for North American pay-per-view buys on May and Mac. Strange that telling the truth in a press release vetted by all parties in advance is something to be despised for. And then Conor goes on, shut your weasel mouth. Who gives a fuck about the North American numbers when we are global kings, you schmuck. Worldwide number 1. That's not what Ella, except it wasn't number 1 worldwide revenues either. Here's the thing with this. So obviously I've worked with both parties. Mm-hmm. I've worked with Espinoza and I've worked with the UFC in Dana White. Espinoza's he's not a promoter. So he's right. They're both right.
Okay.
They're both right. So Espinoza isn't a shady dude. One of the smartest guys I know. If we're in a room and it's Conor, Dana, and Espinoza, and I have to pick someone to steer the ship, it's gonna be Espinoza. He's a monster. Super, super smart guy, knows his shit. He's a shark in a good way, not in the sleazy promoter way. Dana is also very smart and is a shark, but Dana, you got to remember, is a promoter. So Dana's interest is in saying this stuff and creating the hype and letting his investors at WME know this was the right decision. It's the biggest of all time. They're both right in this sense. Stephen Espinoza is right that when it goes to those numbers that they base it off of, the Conor McGregor Mayweather fight is number 2 to Manny Pacquiao, Jesus Christ, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. However, it was illegally streamed. Something like 111 million people legally streamed it. Also, based off certain numbers, it is the big. It was so off the way Espinoza's talking in their press release, he's right. It's number 2. In the way that Dana's talking, he's right where it's number 1. Because more people watch Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather than they watch Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. So so you know what I'm saying? So
I got it, yeah.
You can pick and choose where you want to pull from, depending what side you're on. If you're on Showtime side and you're just talking about sheer pay-per-view, who bought it compared to who bought Floyd Pac, he's right. If you want to play Dana's and showed everyone it's the most viewed and most successful fight of all time, he's right.
Yeah.
They're both right. Where Dana goes, scroll back up where Dana goes, why he despises the Showtime crew and vowed to never work with them again. That's a little weird, especially since you're getting into boxing. So you're already Bob Arum hates you. Showtime's definitely the next biggest. You look at their roster, you look at what they're doing. I don't know if you want to make enemies with them. You could definitely probably use a favor down the road with them. So it doesn't make sense to burn these bridges. They're also, without Showtime, that if you don't have Showtime and Espinoza involved, that Floyd Mayweather Conor fight is a circus because they brought legitimacy to it and a professional presence to it. If you don't have that, you have more of a circus, which is exactly what they didn't want. So they're both right. But I don't know why they would attack Espinoza on this. Yeah, it's they don't want it to do bad. They're in a different lane as far as Dana White and the UFC is. There's no repercussions for Dana saying this guy's I guarantee him a title shot. It doesn't happen. I guarantee you Conor versus Khabib's next in Russia. Doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you this guy's going to fight this guy. We're going to go there. It doesn't happen because he's a promoter. So there's no repercussions for that. But it still gets picked up. For Espinoza, he's not a flashy, this and this and trying to start controversy. He's running a corporation. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
One's an entertainer, one's a straight businessman as they get, with no vested interest and is just a down-to-earth good dude. Now, the Dana's not, but he's an entertainer. He's as much an entertainer as I am. One wants to be on TMZ, the other wants to be on Business Journal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to look at the guy who wants to be in Business Journal for my information. Again, they're both right, depending what tree you want to pick from.
Yeah, makes sense.
What else you got?
All right. Conor McGregor's Coach Kavanaugh, he said Conor's back to training regularly, and if he has anything to do with it, he's going to be fighting in the UFC in the octagon, not in a boxing match.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. It's a weird thing because I'm sure, just like everyone who's listening to this, you want Conor to fight Tony Ferguson. You want to see how Conor stacks up against these guys. And the Floyd Mayweather rematch, that's out the door. I know Dana commented, in, I think, is it that with Ioli in that interview that's what Conor wants?
That Conor would have what?
Conor wants to fight Floyd again. Did he mention that, or is that somewhere else?
I think that was somewhere
else. He might have
done
on Fox Sports 1. Okay. Either way, he mentioned that. That ship has sailed. That's just never happening. Even though he thinks can, Oh,
it was, by the way.
Beat him. Yeah, Fox Sports 1. Even though he thinks can beat him, all that ship has sailed. So you look at Conor's, if money is the motive here, if it's not his legacy, if just money, if I'm Conor McGregor and I'm just thinking about money and providing for my family, which your $100 million should do it, but let's say you want to stack even more chips, what fight would I make the most money in? And then you got to remember, I guess the Ali Act could come into play, but for him to fight box again, he'd have to get permission from Dana White and UFC again. They played ball with him this one, so he didn't have to cut through all the red tape, and they made it easy. But if you were to go, listen, I don't care about fighting Tony Ferguson and defending my belts. I'm just going to focus on boxing. The UFC's going to be like, look at your contract, brother. We're going to tie you up in court for how many years? So that's never going to happen. Although internationally, the Ali Act, who knows? Conor has smart people around him and lawyers. Maybe they can figure it out. So let's say that boxing's not an option, or even if it is, there's only one guy he could make serious money. And when I say serious money, meaning all of it's serious money, but legit money to him when you have $100 million in the bank. Legit money is different for everyone, right? Fuck you money is different for everyone. For Conor McGregor, when you have $100 million, fuck you money is $40 million plus. So what would be a $40 million plus fight for him? Maybe a Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no other fight. Paulie Malignaggi's, that's not pulling $40 million. Floyd Mayweather, that's just not happening. Outside that, there's nothing. There's nothing. So, okay, so what would be his next moves? Where would he make the most money? Let's say the Manny Pacquiao fight's not going to happen. Well, in the restructure his contract, let's say they don't. He's still making around $20 million to fight Tony Ferguson. That's guaranteed. It's not bad money.
20 mil. Wow.
You know, so and they renegotiate his contract. Maybe he's making more than that. That makes a little more sense. You see some holes in Tony's game. You come back to your kind of your home court, being in the UFC. And then if you do that, and then you want to bounce over and fight a Manny Pacquiao, or maybe something else is there. That might be the move. But there's not a lot he can do that would make more than fighting Tony Ferguson in the UFC. If and I know they're trying to work on the contract. Because when they say, you know, he wants to box, there's not a whole lot out there for him to make serious money that people would tune into. And then the biggest problem with all that, where people are talking about boxing, him not fighting the UFC, is the UFC has to play ball in order for him to do that. The UFC's not. They're like, dude, we got to get you back here. It's a shit show over here, really. You're our biggest draw. So for the UFC's interest, they're going to need to get that man back in the octagon. Oh, this reminds you know who I had coffee with the other day? Woodley.
Where?
Tyron Woodley at right up in Playa Vista.
Oh, he was here with Aubrey and them.
With Aubrey, yeah. So I met them for coffee and was just talking with him about things. And he had some interesting comments, just how, you know, I'm sure he has his own show, so I'm sure it's out there, and he's on TMZ too. Watch him. It's a TMZ sports show. I forget what it is, but he's all over, man. And he was saying he wanted the Conor fight. He wanted this fight. The only legit fight they offered him was Diaz. Other than that nothing. There's been nothing.
Wow.
The Tufts news, that's not real. He hasn't heard anything about that. None of that stuff is real. But he's saying he wanted Conor, GSP, and they're like, not happening, not happening.
What's he going to do then?
He just had surgery on his shoulder, so he's going to wait. And then, I don't know, if RDA wants to wait for him. To me, him doing tough didn't make sense. I told him that. And he was like, I haven't even heard anything. It's not on the table, man. Just a good dude, though, man. Got to get him on here.
Did you ask him, or you didn't say?
No, it's very rare I ask. I'll if he's around or something, I'll text him. If he's doing a show, it's easy here. I'll ask him. You know,
cool.
We know Cyborg's coming back on. Yeah. Woodley's an interesting guy.
Really interesting, and acting, all that stuff. So yeah.
All right, what else you got?
All right, so Dana's just addressing the rumors that the UFC is not doing well, and he goes on to say that they're doing really well. He says WME-IMG bought us for $4 billion, and obviously they needed certain numbers for the banks, but he's spending another $1 million right now on another wing of that UFC headquarters.
Yeah,
and then
Ari Emanuel is.
Dana's spending, for another wing there, and then Ari Emanuel's buying a building next door. So he goes,
that doesn't mean shit.
We're still growing.
That doesn't mean shit. I know rappers who have 7 cars. They're dead broke. What's your point?
Another one. This one sounded pretty trippy to me. He goes, who can offer you a better deal than me in combat sports? Boxing, MMA, whatever it is, who can offer a better deal than me? The answer is nobody. This is what we do. Keep doubting us.
He's right. So this is 2 parts here, because he's right as far as who can offer a better deal than me in combat sports. Now, when he says who can offer a better deal than me in combat sports, well, let's branch off that. No one, he's right. No one can offer a better deal than him. If you're a star.
This again.
Yes. The wording. So he's right with this stuff, but when he says who can offer a better deal than me in combat sports, he's 100% correct. Is there anyone on this earth can offer a better deal than what Conor McGregor has made, or than what Brock Lesnar or Ronda Rousey made? No, you're right, sir. No way. But you have to be one of them. Now, if you're a middle tier guy and he goes, who can offer you a better deal than me in combat sports? Basically everybody. It's pretty even. I can go to Bellator. At least I can keep my sponsors. The pay's pretty similar. But he's right. They're number one by far. As far as offering better deal, there's no one even close.
In MMA for sure. But boxing, when they get like hundreds of millions of dollars.
But here's the problem. Yeah. Who gets hundreds of millions of dollars? Who?
That one, yeah.
You talking about Floyd Mayweather?
Like Floyd Mayweather, yeah.
Okay, but it's the same. It's all the same. Boxing right and dies off their pay-per-view stars. But they also, when they get big enough, they have their own corporations. They have their own promotions, and that's when they make their serious money. But when people say, "Oh, these guys are making hundreds of $1 million," no, they're not. Triple G, regards one of the best in the world, if top 3, even though he lost Canelo, it's up for debate. Whatever. He only made, I think, what, $5-6 million his last fight. Canelo made him maybe another $8 million, $10 million. But they're, Conor's making more money than those guys. Anthony Joshua's not making hundreds of $1 million. He sells out 90,000 at the Wembley Stadium. His next fight is sell out against Parker, 100%. But he's not making hundreds of millions. So people got to be careful. So when you say hundreds of millions, there's really only one guy to ever do that, which is Floyd Mayweather in boxing. And then in MMA, there's never been anyone like that. We've had Conor. He's making phenomenal money. He's not making $100 million a fight. He's not making Floyd Mayweather money in MMA. It's all the same. You have to be that unstoppable, huge, translate to pop culture, worldwide known kind of phenom to make that type of money. I don't know if we'll see a $100 million fighter in MMA. Conor would be the closest and depend on his new deal. Now, could Conor make it in a year? Yes. Conor make $100 million a year fighting in the UFC. If his contract's right, and let's say he's making around $40 million a fight, which is a ton, and depend on pay-per-view points, he could get close off 2 to 3 fights. But one fight, no, we don't have a guy here, not yet. Yeah, so Dana said, whoever's athlete is, I don't care who it is, I want to fly to Vegas, and we're going to meet. I'm going to walk you through this new facility, show you the gym, the trainers, all the amenities, free supplements, physical therapy. We'll cook your food exactly how you like it 3 times per day. You'll get health insurance. So is that open to everyone on the card? Is it open to Francis and Ngannou?
What?
You know what I'm saying? Is that open to Stipe and Francis? Because they're fighting each other. Yeah. And Francis... And this is where it gets a little tricky for me. Francis lives at the PI Center, Performance Institute Center. He literally lives there. The UFC flew him there, paid for everything. They're invested in him as a fighter in the UFC. Stipe is in Cleveland, in the bitter cold. Obviously, it's working, but still, he doesn't have the same access. Did they offer that same package to Stipe? And they're fighting each other. And now they could say, well, Stipe could fly here. Well, yeah, I guess, but then you're with your opponent,
That's why this is always weird to me too. Like, it's open to everyone. It's hard to imagine it's open to everyone. Like, they could actually stay there.
I don't know. I don't know the exact rules of it, but what's interesting to me is when they say that it's open to everyone. I get that. I can go there if I have an injury. I can be there for like a week or 2. Francis lives there and is getting all the benefits. And if you listen to Jeff Nowitzki, a.k.a. the Golden Snitch, if you listen to him, he goes, Francis walked through the offices during his off time. He's there 24/7. I'm like, man, a little bit of favoritism, yeah?
So it sounds like he literally lives
No,
there.
He does. That's where Homeboy lives. He's homeless in Cameroon. Now he's fucking balls deep in shrimp scampi at the UFC Institute and punching bags and hanging out with employees. And it's a little strange if you're Stipe. You're like, damn, son. You guys don't want him to win at all.
Yeah.
It's a little strange, right?
Well, because if Stipe was there first, it'd be different. Maybe, but
Stipe's been in the UFC longer.
I know, that's true.
Have they ever offered him the same sort of package deal?
No
Move
idea.
your entire camp down here, bro. We'll do this. We'll do this. Even though you're a multi-time defending world champion. To the UFC's defense, though, they're like, Stipe hasn't even talked about coming here. Fucking Francis was homeless. He's this freak. We want to help the guy out. Now he's here. We can't get rid of him. You tell him to get out of here. No. Talking about the Debo of the Performance Institute? No. So I don't know. And then when scroll back up, so when he put WME, IMG, Endeavor bought us for $4 billion, they obviously hit certain numbers with the banks. So when he says right now I'll spend another $1 million on another wing I want, that's how bad we're having. That doesn't mean much. $1 million when you got a $4 billion nut is nothing. You know.
That's why he threw.
It's like when you have a $4 million mortgage and you're buying a fight. That's like buying a Snickers. All right, I can afford a Snickers. I'm not going to put us in the hole that much. We can figure it out. And then Ari Emanuel wants to buy a bill next to us. Cool. Ari Emanuel, this is just one of his projects. I think Ari Emanuel's family living and dying off the investment of the UFC? No. Come on. You know how big WME is? Again, he's a promoter. You're not hearing Ari Emanuel say this. You're not hearing these guys say this, even though Ari's an agent, so you have to be a little careful what they say. But if I'm Dana, I'm doing the same thing. I'm painting the picture like it's all good, man. We're killing it. Because that TV rights deal is up. But when he goes, we're killing it. It's been a great year. Again, it's twofold because he's right in the sense where, you know, Conor fought in boxing and they received all that money from there. But if Conor didn't box, he would have fought at least 2 times in the UFC. So the numbers
that was one of his points.
Oh, did he make that point? In this interview, the Ioli interview?
And during one of the interviews. I think it was Ioli one too.
I haven't seen that.
Oh no, it's one of the things where he's saying that we're still doing really well. Even if he didn't do the Mayweather fight, we would have made, he would have made those brackets of money anyways for the UFC.
Yeah, and those numbers would have came to the UFC. Yeah. So let's say Conor didn't fight Mayweather and fought in 2017, which is normal. Let's say he fought twice. Let's be cool. Say he fought twice in the UFC. What 2 would he fight? Probably would have fought Nate Diaz and GSP. You tell me what kind of numbers. And then the UFC, are we having these talks? Think how big those numbers would be. A GSP Conor fight, enormous. And then a Diaz rematch, the trilogy. You're talking about the 2 biggest pay-per-views of all time. So then the UFC's like, what's up?
Yeah.
Who said it was a down year? What the fuck you talking about? So there's that argument. But let's take Conor out of this situation. Let's say you're in a business meeting right now. You're at WME and you go, let's say you get wind that Conor's never fighting again. And you're sitting around and they go, all right, we just got a text from Conor. He's never fighting again. He's never, ever fighting again, man. And you look around and go, all right, well, who's going to carry the torch?
I don't know.
Ooh. That's when you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because the only reason you have this argument that you've had great years is because of one man.
Yeah.
And when he goes, come on, bro, you're Conor Dick Rider. That's fine. Call me where the fuck you want. However, just based off sheer numbers, if you take Conor out of this system, they're in trouble. Because they haven't invested the proper time, publicity, money into these other fighters who have great stories. Maybe they're not Conor McGregor stories. Maybe they don't have the gift of gab like Conor McGregor, but there's some phenomenal stories. They've spent all their time over here, which they should have learned that mistake with Ronda. Spent all your time over here. Instead, you have these personalities. So let's take Conor out of it. Let's talk about it. Who is the biggest draw? Who is going to sell your pay-per-views? Who is going to carry your Fox cards? Go, Chin. Name one guy.
I honestly can't. Not anymore. Not DC, not Stipe, Francis if he destroys constantly.
No way. He doesn't speak English. And where he comes from, they're not buying pay-per-views. We got to put that shit on for free in Africa. They have enough issues out there. They're just trying to get fucking food and water, let alone buy a goddamn Francis Reebok kit. Francis is nowhere near a draw right now. Not even close.
Yeah, I mean.
And listen, you guys go, you always talk about draws. Who cares, man? It's about the purity of fighting. I get that. But we're not on that subject. We're on the subject of the business of the UFC. And their business rides and dies off pay-per-view superstars. Not stars, not good fighters, not pound-for-pound fighters, superstars. I didn't build this model. They did. Don't critique me. Critique them. I don't mind the model. I'm just saying, if you're in that WME meeting and you get wind that Conor's never fighting again, you got to look around the room and go, all right, well, how is this not going to be a down year for 2018 if Conor's out? What are we going to do to build up the numbers? Do you put on more fights so you have quantity over quality? We're just having a ton of fights so it adds up and like, nope, look, we had the same views, but we put on 30 more pay-per-views. Bring up the ratings.
The ratings.
Like the rankings.
Oh, the rankings.
Because your heavyweight champ, Stipe. Again, I'm not criticizing these guys. These are the numbers. I have nothing to do with this. So
start off with heavyweight.
Sure, Stipe. No, he's not a blockbuster fighter, even though he's the heavyweight champ. Francis, he's too new. He doesn't speak English. Overeem, older. Fabricio, huge in Brazil. Kane, he could be. He's been out for a while. Mark Hunt, yeah, he's good. Then you get light heavyweights, a shit show. You got DC, no, even though he's a phenomenal fighter. Gus Finn, no. Vulcan, I love the guy, but let's get real. And then middleweight, you got Robert Whittaker. He's new. He's new and obviously huge in Australia, but Yo Romero, no. Rockhold, just for whatever reason, rubs the public wrong. But then you got GSP. They got him still ranked middleweight. That's not happening. Keep going. Max Holloway has the potential to get there. You got Woodley. It's just not even Woodley tells me they're just not marketing me right. They're just not getting it out there. Now, is that when he's in there, I'm sure I'll talk to him. Is that a more of a problem that the UFC's not marketing right, or maybe they've tried all angles, just not connecting with the public? I don't know. And we'd have to hear it from him. Tony Ferguson, Khabib, huge in Russia, though. You got Nate Diaz. And I bet Nate would admit this. Let's say Nate Diaz were to fight Kevin Lee or Tony Ferguson. Or Nate Diaz, Eddie Alvarez. What does that do? It's probably your closest as far as getting to $1 million. But anyone I just mentioned does not reach over $1 million. No one. And then you go to the lighter weights. It's just, it's definitely not happening.
And no one has that mouth.
It's just not the complete package. And I think fighting as far as depth, talent, sheer numbers, as far as overall the roster, the best it's ever been. Most talent, the deepest in most divisions, except for light heavyweight and heavyweight, which is standard. But other than that, the best it's ever been. But as far as sheer big pay-per-view stars, which is the model they created, you don't have them if Conor leaves. You don't have one. So you can be a little stressed. You can imagine they're probably like, all right, what are we going to do, man? What the hell are we going to do? But you just look at these rankings, these top 15. It's stacked, man. There's so many good fighters, so many good fights to be made. If you don't give a fuck about pay-per-views and rankings, all that, things are good. But that's not the business they're in. WME does not, trust this, WME does not give a fuck about, who's ranked 2 through 15. They could care less. That's why you get the super fight era. That's why you're getting these celebrity fight era. All that stuff. The entertainment fight era. They do not care about that stuff. They're not in that business of being a purist and getting the best fights possible. I believe the UFC, most of the UFC still is, though. What else you got, Jen?
Let's see here. All right, so we talked about this last week, that Dana White said Cyborg versus Nunes would likely happen next.
I love that fight.
Cyborg went on her social media, and she's saying she'll take a Nunes fight after she defends against a fighter that has recently fought at featherweight.
Yeah, Cyborg and I went back and forth texting. She's going to come on here to talk about it. But
awesome.
Her point goes, man, so if they give me it's going to be better coming from her mouth when she's in here. But I went, man, that Amanda Nunes fight's an amazing fight. The super fight. She goes, yeah, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't grow the division. That's a 135er coming up to fight me. Like, she's not a natural 45er. I want to build this division so I have fights for a long time. I want to build the depth of 45 and give these girls their shine who are natural 45ers so the division can thrive. If you just give me people who aren't natural 45ers, it does not help this division, which makes sense. She's like, so what do I do? Just keep fighting girls who are out of this division, come up, and then all right, I'm just this king of the division of nobodies? Like, no one's here? They're not natural 45ers? Like, where do you go after all that? And she has a great point. My initial reaction, oh, come on, fight her. That's an amazing fight. But then when you hear her talk about it, like, all right, I get that. I 100% get that. Because you don't have a division. Let's grow the division. Let's build up this huge name and this character of Cyborg, have her murking these girls, or maybe these girls surprise us. Maybe Megan Anderson surprises us and gives her a fight or beats her. But either way, she's a natural 45er. So Cyborg goes, I want to fight against a fighter with a win at 145 in the last year. And again, when you hear her point of view, you're like, that makes sense. It really does. Because she's just going to keep hoping for these girls to come up and take a shot who aren't 45ers. And then we're like, oh, come on, man. She's not even a natural 45er. You're just beating these girls. Like, it's not going to grow the brand or the evolution of Cyborg. I'm with her on this. Now, do I want to see her versus Amanda Nunes? 100%. But she even said, let me fight a natural 45er, give them their shine, build the division, and then I'll fight Amanda Nunes next. Just give me one real 45er, and then I'll fight Amanda Nunes next. Is that too much to ask? But we'll see, man. I don't know if she has the power. And when I'll ask her this, does she believe she has the power to call the shots like this? And then someone goes, so this guy's going back and forth with Cyborg on Twitter, what we're looking at, and fans can see this, right? So she goes, I will fight Amanda Nunes after this, yes. And then at Camille Bayrak 18, but those are easy fights for you. Amanda is the fight everyone wants to see. Those aren't easy fights for you. And again, Amanda, she's undersized, man.
Yeah,
and they're very similar. But what you're going to see in the Amanda Nunes Cyborg fight is Amanda might land, but when Cyborg lands, it takes its toll on anybody, any female in the world. When you stand and bang, just like Holly learned, that you might land some, but for every 3 you land, which she didn't, but let's say every 3 anyone lands on Cyborg, all Cyborg needs is 1 to fuck your grill up. She's a nightmare for these girls. And then, so those are these fights. Amanda loses the fight everyone wants to see. It's a super fight. And Cyborg goes on and says, Amanda's last fight did 100,000 buys. That isn't a super fight and does little for the division or my career. Just points. I'd love to get her in here and talk about it, though, which we're going to. We'll make that happen. Cyborg's one of my faves.
I want that Megan Anderson fight first, if it was my choice.
You'd have
to see Cyborg against Megan. That would be awesome, because that's
agree.
what I've been hearing about a lot. So.
I agree. And then loser of that fight's Holly, and you get GDR up in there, Duran and me, and you got to grow this division. Again, you're investing in the future. It's not about super fights. It's not about just this right now. Because once that's over, Cyborg's sitting there like, all right, I beat everyone you want me to. I have no one to fight, man. I'm fighting maybe once a year. I got to hope one of these girls are dumb enough to come up and fight me. And after they see what I do to freaking Amanda, which Amanda might be my favorite fighter outside Cyborg as female fighter. I love Amanda. She's one of my favorite fighters. Definitely one of my favorite to watch, but her story's amazing too. All their stories are great, but Amanda Nunes is one of my favorite fighters. For Amanda to come up and think she can beat Cyborg at 45 is insane. Can she do it? I don't know. I don't know. I bet she does a better job. I don't know if I should say that. I was going to say I bet she does a better job than Holly, but
you got me thinking about the size difference, so maybe trippy to see her in there.
And both pretty similar styles, but one hits way harder.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Let's jump over here. I saw this article. BJ Penn, I think USADA made the cheaters jump from taking testosterone to human growth hormone, HGH.
But they can test for HGH these days.
He said that because no one's getting caught, that's the reason why people are just getting away with HGH. And he also he brings up the whole the IV thing too. Like by now, he's the only person that has been caught with an IV because he disclosed it. But they're really not checking for it, or there's just no way to test for it, even though Nowitzki says there is.
They can test. Hold on. He goes, yeah, Jeff Nowitzki told me they have a test for HGH that lasts for 2 weeks. But then why is no one ever getting busted or their stomachs are growing?
That's his thing, too. He says stomachs are getting bigger.
I mean, this is a little bit of bro science. It's BJ Penn, though. So when BJ talks, we should all listen. So he said it's kind of like IVs. I've never seen one fighter get busted for taking an IV 24 hours of their fight. The only fighter who ever got busted for IV was me. That's true. Then after I disclosed that, I had taken a glutathione IV following a visit with a concussion brain injury specialist. Then the USADA tried to show that they had teeth by reprimanding a fighter who always speaks out about PEDs. Since that day, I've never seen anyone get caught for taking an IV. Legit point. From my understanding, the only test that USADA uses for IVs is looking for puncture holes on a fighter. Maybe they don't realize that a massive weight gain after weigh-in is performance enhancing, when in reality, IVs can be a huge advantage in the fight game. We aren't talking about 150-pound men riding a bike. My coach had seen my opponent weigh in just hours before the fight and had put on 26 pounds. I've eaten everything I could in those 24 hours, and yet I only managed to put on 8 pounds. I told Nowitzki about the situation after the fight, suggesting that maybe my opponent had taken IV. Jeff told me that they could not find any puncture holes on his arm and add that maybe my opponent just rehydrated better. So they look for puncture wounds on the arm?
That's what BJ's saying, but I thought they were actually testing, like,
there's like plastic residue that
there's something in it, that you can test with urine or blood, right?
One time I was training a doctor and we were talking about what would be the most dangerous thing, what should we be aware of that our opponents might be taking. He said HGH because it helps you recover so much. Interesting.
Have you heard that the symptom is a bloated stomach from HGH?
The power gut.
The power gut?
Yeah, they call it the power gut. Like you'll see a lot of bodybuilders where it's a gut, like if they're just wearing a shirt, it looks like they have a gut. You're like, damn, bro, I thought you were supposed to be the pinnacle of health, which is a whole nother subject, but they're supposed to be the pinnacle of health. But then they take a shirt off, like, oh, those are abs that are gut-like. Because you got to realize that when you put HGH in the body, human growth hormone, it just doesn't go, oh, let's recover the muscles and build the good stuff. Everything grows. Your heart, your lungs, your organs, your head. It makes literally everything grow except for your dick, which would be sick if you just inject into your dick hole. Anyways, it makes it so your organs grow, which is why you get the protruded stomach. Mm-hmm. And there's famous fighters out there, which you guys can jump to your conclusions, where you see a power gut, and that is most likely the results of heavy HGH usage. Now, HGH, from what I hear, obviously a lot of NFL guys, NBA, a lot of people take it, but it would help, but it takes so long. It's not something like, all right, let's say you have an injury and you take it and the next day you're better. It's a long process. You have to be on it for a while before it starts kicking and you reap the benefits. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really work like if you just shoot testosterone in your ass. It doesn't work like that. I think BJ has a point. The bro science about smallest shoulders, power guts. I can't really imagine. I don't remember too many people with power guts right now. But I thought they tested for it when they come. So they can't test through urine. It has to be through blood. That's the only way to test it. Okay. And I'm pretty sure it has to be within a certain amount of window. I think Nowitzki said it's a 2-week window. So if a lot of people – and this is the other thing about HGH that they don't talk about. HGH is very expensive. Very, very, way more expensive than steroids. Way more. A lot more. And you have to take more frequently, and you have to take a lot of it to reap benefits off of it. So I think there's a combination why people aren't getting tested for it, because it's very expensive, so they just can't afford it. The upper level guys can. B, if they have a 2-week period and it's random, I don't know, man. I would think more guys would have got caught. Yeah. It is a little alarming. I get BJ's point. Like, hold up, no one's been caught for IV since me, and I told them I was taking IV. That's weird. And the way they check it is puncture wounds in the arm. That's so old school. It's not even funny. And the other thing is no one's been caught for HGH or an IV. I get his point. That is kind of strange. That gives me skeptical hippo eyes. However, he's doing a little bit of bro science. And I love BJ, can do no wrong in my book, but that is a little bit of bro science.
Yeah, it was interesting.
What else you got?
How are we on time? Do you want to go straight to another event or go to the breakdown?
Another event, for sure. We're good.
Okay. Well, I just saw this as you walked in. So it says that the boxing death of Tim Hague may have been preventable.
Yeah, no shit. Don't let him fight.
Let's see here.
So he suffered 3 KO losses in a span of 1 year.
Yeah, that's simply that. So he should have been not eligible to compete.
For losing by TKO or KO in 3 in 1 year?
Yeah. It appears the system had failed him by not protecting him. All right, let's move on from this.
Yikes.
I thought this was just cool.
What
so
is this?
Conor's Instagram. I guess some fans saw him on the street, and then he just said hi to him and just hauled ass past him in this beautiful car that you can probably identify.
Let me see. That's a McLaren. It's experience, man.
Dear God.
Yeah, those things are fast. It's a real straight up like driver's race car. Those things are monsters.
Are
McLarens, yeah.
They look cheap. Small too.
They are small.
Okay.
They're very small, but I mean complete monsters on the road.
When you do this, I wonder, can cops look at this later and get you in trouble or?
I don't think so. No. He also, it's just like dead street. He also just sped off.
Yeah, they can't actually
that big
prove.
of a deal. Why are people up in arms about it?
No, I'm just wondering.
Oh, no. Yeah. You're good. What else you got, brother?
Gunnar Nelson. He actually wants to fight Darren Till.
God, Gunner's
they've been going back and forth.
No one wants to fight Darren Till right now.
That's what he was saying, too.
Yeah, because he had that shitty loss to Ponzinibbio where he got fucking poked in the eyes. Mm-hmm. Poor guy.
And he wants that fight back, but he doesn't think he'll get it anytime soon. No. So he's going for Till.
I'm all good. I don't need to see him fight again. But he said, I had a little back and forth during Till online. I remember Darren Till was like, yeah, let's do it. And was like Liverpool. And freaking Gunnar Nelson was like, yep, let's do it. So they've both agreed to it. The UFC don't work like that. But they haven't scheduled anything yet. I'm here, but nothing is happening with him. I would love to that fight. He's calling everyone out, says he's not getting opponents. He's a good fighter. He's online saying no one wants to fight him. Well, I'm ready. I'm willing to fight. That is a tough fight for freaking Gunnar Nelson.
Gunnar, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love Gunnar. Tip of the hat to you, sir. I don't see how he wins that fight.
Especially now.
Unless you could get him down. But, he's a big boy. Yeah. But striking-wise, that's going to be, although Gunnar Nelson has his karate background, he's, a good striker. But Darren Till, man, I'd love that fight. Have it headline in Liverpool. I'm on that Darren Till train. You guys know this. What else you got?
I'm trying to think of their size difference, too. Gunnar's kind of small, right?
Smaller.
170?
Yeah.
Yeah. Darren Till's crazy. What else do we have here? Oh, so this was on Ariel's show.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Keep going. Disrespected Stipe. Disrespected Stipe Miocic feels UFC wants Francis to beat him. What gives you that idea? Because he's the bane of the UFC? Because he's in a lab and they're making sure he's recovering and hydrating and eating exactly what he needs to eat?
For free.
For free?
Yeah.
What gives you that, Steve? Why, bro? Why would that give you any fucking sort of skeptical hippo eyes? So he's on MMA Hour. So what question did Ariel ask? You have to be careful on this. Yeah. Ariel's he's a bit of an antagonist where he wants to be like, don't you feel disrespected?
He did say something like that. He goes, Do you feel disrespected that they're doing this and that? And he's like, oh yeah. Or do you feel like they want Ngannou to win? And do you feel disrespected? And he basically says, yeah.
Well, he's going to answer it, so obviously for sure.
But don't want to dwell on it.
I feel a little bit disrespect, but I'm not going to dwell on it. That's Stipe. And Stipe goes on to say, he's got more hype on him, I guess. The guy hits super hard. We're making a big thing about it. I fought some good guys, That's how we are. I'm not much of a trasher. I just like to fight. That's what I do. Yeah, Stipe's not going to sell the fight. He's going to sell it by going out there and just beating guys. That's what he does. But, yeah, Ariel he's an instigator. That's what he does. We all know this. It's interesting, but that's his cup of tea. However, I feel like it's fair for Stipe to say that. I would be like, yeah, a little bit. Like, all the UFC does is talk about Francis and, everyone's talking about how great he is, how hard he hits, and they're blasting out, oh, he beat this, and Nowitzki's talking about how great a guy he is. And if you're Stipe, you're like, Jesus, man, I've beat some of the best of all time. Matter of fact, if I were to beat Francis, I'd probably go down as best of all time. You look at the guys I beat. The only box I've left to check off is Kane. If he comes back, I beat him, and I'm actually the best of all time.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if you're Stipe, you feel disrespected. How could you not, though? Good question by Ariel. I don't think that one's too far out there because you got to feel the same thing. I think everyone's like, including the UFC's like, dude, how is Stipe going to win this? And when you look at Stipe, my brother and I were talking about this. Jay goes, and we love Stipe. My brother's there when Stipe was training with me. He goes, I love Stipe. Every fight and everything he's going to win, he always does. It's weird because he does. Stipe's that guy where, when he fought Gonzaga, I was like, I don't know how he's going to beat Gonzaga, man. He beats him. Then Roy, I'm like, dude, I don't know. Roy did have the sniffles, but Stipe outstruck him. And then he just keeps going over him like, fuck. Unless he can get him down. Nope, knocks him out. Verdum, God, man. Verdum can strike. He's big. Verdum rushes in, gets knocked out. Hunt, man, if fucking Stipe doesn't move his head, he beat the brakes off Mark Hunt. The most strikes ever landed in a fight. I mean, just straight up bully, beat down, ass whooping. Mark Hunt's so goddamn tough, he took all the punishment. Stipe is a monster, man. He's fought guys who hit hard. Mark Hunt hits harder than anyone in the world. He fought Junior Dos Santos, beat him twice, even though he got fucked in the decision. Beat him twice. Knocked him out the second time. Walked through him. Literally walked through the goddamn man. Hey, tell you guys, Junior Dos Santos hits pretty fucking hard too. Hits like a monster. Remember, walk through him. Now, that being said, how does he beat Francis? I have no clue. If I'm Stipe, I come out there with the fucking headgear, singlet, and wrestling shoes. We ain't playing any of that fucking striking game. I beeline straight for him. I'll give you the official breakdown. Quit fucking around next week. But I beeline for him, put my head in his chest, and make it miserable. And we are never, ever going to be in striking range. That's the only way you're going to beat Francis. And hopefully you drag him to deep waters.
Like, it seems like everyone's afraid for Stipe.
Because we don't. It's the unknown with Francis.
Uh-huh.
It's just the unknown. We've never, he fought Blades, who was a JUCO national champion. He got taken down, then popped up and ended up beating him. And then everyone else, he just murks. But when we say murk, and I am on the Francis train, but when we say murks, he beat Alistair Overeem, who's been knocked out more than anyone in the UFC. Hit him with an uppercut from Cameroon. Yeah. It would knock out anybody, but especially Alistair Overeem. And then he fucking murked Andrei Arlovsky, who's a little bit long in the tooth. Been fighting forever, man. So Stipe knocked out both those guys, too. Both of them. But there's just the looks of Francis, and he doesn't speak English. That makes him more scarier. And he was homeless, and he's from Africa, he's from Cameroon, and now he's the bane of the UFC, and they're injecting him with God knows what, and I have no idea.
HGH, no.
Who knows? Who knows? I have no idea what they're doing over there. So there's this weird thing going on where you're just like, what is Stipe going to do? He's a firefighter, for God's sakes, and he's fighting Bane. Stipe's like Bruce Wayne if he was broke. He doesn't really have any special skills, but he can fight his ass off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's Bruce Wayne, but without all the cool gadgets and shit and the cars and girls and mansions. He's him. But he's taking on Bane. But this Bane actually has all the shit. Like Francis, the promo should be Francis in the Bane mask and fucking Stipe underneath as Batman. Hey, Boss Logic or Average Joe, or Dosbrack, let's for sure draw that up. Francis as Bane, Stipe as Bruce Wayne, but regular Bruce Wayne. Don't make him all flashy. Because he's your blue-collar Bruce Wayne versus Bane.
Firefighter Wayne.
But how would Bruce Wayne do against Bane in fucking Batman if Bruce Wayne didn't have Morgan Freeman dropping all his cool gadgets paying the bills? Think Ben Affleck fighting Bane, but without any gear.
Why Ben Affleck?
Well, because he's bad. He's
I like
Batman.
Christian Bale. That character.
He's too skinny.
That's badass. True.
Like Batman's probably gonna get fucked up if you don't have all his gear. He's a normal dude. Bane's a nightmare.
It does feel like he's fighting someone that's going to be
it's a hard problem to solve right now.
Superhuman.
There's some dude walking the streets out there who beat him though. Some dude in South Africa walking the streets beat him. I was like, what? Bane? They're calling Bane over there? I beat that bitch. If he's Bane, what am I? I'm Doomsday, bitch. I beat Bane. Yeah, not this Bane, though. Not the UFC Institute Bane. He's even more jacked, more confident. And then Stipe put out, I love Stipe for his and then Bane just, and still my ass to January 20th. He's like, well, and he's laughing. It's like, God damn. Dude, if I'm Francis, I don't speak French. Callen does. Maybe I can have Callen translate to him. I get in his ear. I'm like, dude, we need you to go dark. We need to come out with the Bane mask. We need to just talk. You don't have to talk. Your English is awful. So we're just going to be these few words. Just kill. It's going to be death. It's dark. We just need to paint this dark picture. Although he's the nicest guy in the world, we're trying to paint this picture, man. You're going to be a heel, Francis. We need you to be a heel. Can't be a baby face. We need you as the heel here. Like, remember when Hulk Hogan went heel? We need that NWA Francis.
NWA.
Old school wrestling preference. Yeah. All right, what else we got?
Hey, real quick on this. What if, like, from a fighter's perspective, if you're feeling disrespected from your boss, right? You think they want you to actually lose. How does that affect you? Does it make you train harder?
Put your chip on your shoulder. Yeah, I don't think Stipe is the type of guy that pays really any attention to any of this. I don't think he needs any more motivation. It'll put a chip on your shoulder, though.
You think you do better?
I think it's more motivation. But Stipe is not a guy who reads headlines and is on social media and is on the forums. But I'm sure he feels a little disrespected for sure.
Yeah.
Problem is, it's fighting. So France, the fighting gods don't give a fuck, feel disrespect, anything like that. The only thing it can do, let's say Stipe were to win, he's gonna be like, all right, bitches, I'm not going to jump when you say jump anymore. I beat your Bane. I know, greatest of all time. Cool, man. I just whooped his ass. Oh, you want me to fight in 2 months? Fuck you. The way you treated me, not happening. I'll see you in 6 months. I'm taking some time off. I'm going to wait for Kane. Well, we want you to fight this guy. Verdum's been waiting. I don't care. I beat Verdum. No. You want to be a dick to me and fly Stipe, or you want to fly Francis out and suck his dick off every night and give him those massages and have Mike Tyson's talk in his ear? No. I'm not fighting Verdum in 3 months. I'm only waiting for Kane. Now I'm playing hardball. That's the only advantage he has. What else you got?
Let's take a look. Brad, did we talk? I don't know if it's
no. I mentioned Brad Tavares on
something else, right?
Fighting for Hawaii. They could put him on the Hawaii card.
Oh, there. He's calling out Bisping.
Oh, what's up, Bisping? I know you're looking for a fight in England. Respectfully, I'd like to share the octagon with you. God, not really the way to get a fight with Bisping. You got to talk a little shit to get him fired up to respond back. Brad Tavares is one of the nicest guys, but yeah, you gotta get him going. Mm-hmm. Good fight though. I'd watch it. What else you got, brother? Hope that happens for Brad.
Cowboy speaking out about that photographer that said the bad stuff about Cyborg.
Dude, I got so many photographers that DM me and emailing us. I'm like, dude, how dare you? Listen, I talk shit about that particular photographer. I do think the iPhone takes amazing pictures. Does it take about as good as pictures as you guys would with your fancy cameras? No, come on, man. I'm trying to make you guys laugh. I fuck around. Yeah. All my anger was at that guy. So Cowboys comments on it goes, I know Cyborg, but regardless of who it is, like if somebody wants to go say that, do it on your own time. You're not getting the media person for one of the largest MMA schools in the country and then start talking like a total
jackass.
Fucking jackass. You know what I mean? That's my take off that. So he says, team, I've been part of Jackson's Wink MMA before my first WC fight. The recent comments made by the social media team don't represent the team that I know and love and fight for. Yeah, that's Cowboy. He's right, man. The guy's just a fucking moron. What else you got?
One more Donald Cerrone column. So he's admitting that the Jackson Wink camp is having a little bit of a slump.
Yeah, that's standard, though. I mean, so Don Cerrone gives his take on Jackson Wink MMA slump that includes 3 losses on his own. So he says, it's just wild, Cerrone said. I mean, fuck, it's not a thing that's the norm. When we step in there, we've been pretty successful squad, but lately we've had a bit of trouble. Look at me. I'm fucking 3 losses, the first I've had ever. It's fuck. I don't know. What the fuck is going on?
A lot of cussing.
Yeah, so it comes from, Holly Holm has dropped 4 last 5. You got Cub Swanson, Overeem, Michelle Watterson. So, it's not that there's a problem inside Jackson's MMA or that it's bad coaching or bad game planning. Let's go through that list. You got Cowboy's been fighting forever. He's also been fighting the creme de la creme forever. He's a little long in the tooth. He's had a lot of fights. He's also changed weight class, stuff like that. You're going to get losses as these fighters get older. Here comes Swanson, again, fighting for a very, very, very long time. You're going to get some losses. Alistair Overeem, been knocked out more than anyone in the world. He didn't start at Jackson's. He went there to try to salvage his career, which he did. He's been high as number 1 in the heavyweight division. So you'd say that was a positive move for Alistair Overeem. He's old, man. Michelle Watterson, okay, fell in some tougher times, but all these people we're talking about, Holly Holm, Don Cerrone, Cub Swanson, Alistair Overeem, Michelle Watterson, they've been fighting forever. Forever. It's just natural, and it's not on Jackson's, but as fighters get older, they can't compete with the younger generation anymore, so you can get losses. It's not that Jackson's having an issue with coaching, game plan, anything like that. Everyone's just getting older. Mm-hmm. And it just happens to be these superstars, and they're all clumped together, but they're all older and longer in the tooth. They're going to be fine. Is that it?
Yeah.
Let me take a hot piss real quick.
Go for it.
All right, let's jump into this UFC Fight Night Sunday. I think we're going to try to do a fight companion for it. I'm coming back from Portland. Brian's coming back from Nashville, and Rogan he's not doing the card, so we're going to try and do a fight companion for it. Nothing official, but that's the rumor right now. Good card, really good card. My favorite fight on the card is my boy Meek, first team all dime piece versus Usman that everyone's scared of. I call Usman the boogeyman, the Nigerian nightmare. I mean, Grant, he's from the same continent as Francis.
Same, really?
Africa.
Oh, they said continent.
Come on, son, not city. Usman's a guy no one wants to fight, but Emil Meek believes he can do it. God, Emil Meek, how does he pass the freaking test? The dude is jacked.
Super jacked.
Remember when me and Brian, we weren't making fun of him, but we thought he maybe liked the way the dick tastes.
Did you really?
And then he DM'd me a picture of his girlfriend who's a smoke show. Oh. He's like, bitch, please. I was like, oh, my bad. Not that I care at all. I just thought, he's first team bodied up. Number 1. I think he's number 1. First team all body.
For sure.
Usman's no slouch in that. So we can start there. Although there's great fights even on the undercard. You got Thiago Alves, Cummings, Zach Cummings. God, Thiago's just still doing it, man. God bless him. Kraus White's a fun fight. By far the best fight on the prelims is Darren Elkin versus Michael Johnson. Man, tough fight for the damage. They don't have an updated picture because Darren Elkin now has a tattoo across his chest that says Does it say Savage or Damage? Oh my God.
And it's like the old school cartoony kind of.
It is so savage.
It is
of
savage.
A tattoo. It's so intense. Darren Elkins, not the most athletic guy. I would give Michael Johnson the tip of the hat in this one just for his sheer athleticism and explosiveness. So we'll start there. I'll take Michael Johnson via TKO. Man, so we have Usman versus my boy Emil Meek, even though we've never met and I love him. He's supposed to maybe come on the show next week after the fight, depending how it goes. Obviously, no injuries.
How it goes?
Well, obviously, no injuries.
Okay,
I think win or lose, he'll come on the show.
Awesome.
But if he gets murked and his head split open, probably won't come.
Not a good idea.
So I don't want to guarantee he's gonna be on it. There's a good chance that the dime piece from Norway's on the show. So based off that, and you guys know me, I am biased, but I will give you my underdog picks and when you bet on it to help you guys maybe win some money. But Emil Meek is the biggest underdog on the card. I think he's a plus 450 and Usman is a minus 600. That shows you how much of a monster Usman is. No one wants to fight Usman. And in this division where you have guys like Darren Till, Perry, Kobe Covington, Usman, you have this crop. Those guys are just listed off. You can put Meek in that list too, but you have Positive Neo. You have this list of just young, hungry lions. I don't really want to see them fight. What I want to see them do is take out the older, long in the tooth lions. I don't want to see Usman versus Darren Till. I don't want to see Usman versus Kobe Covington. I don't want to see any of that. What you do is to build them up and give them more of a mainstream exposures. Have them fight the Robbie Lawlers. Have them fight the RDAs. Have them fight the Donald Cerrones, just like we did with Darren Till. Have them do that stuff instead of killing each other off because you're investing in the future of the division. That division is so goddamn stacked, it's not even funny. No one wants to fight Usman. Remember, they were supposed to fight earlier. Meek had his issues with his visa, but here he is. And for Meek, hey, bro, if it doesn't go well, you have that killer band.
I know.
They have a straight-up band that rocks
metal.
out, man. Yeah, hell yeah, they're metal. Or it could be a model, whatever you want to do, man. But the world is your oyster. This is a tough fight for Meek. Very, very tough fight. If you know anything about Usman, he's a complete fucking nightmare. No one wants to fight him. He's the boogeyman of the 170-pound division. So my heart is with Meek. My brain is with Usman. I'll give you guys that. Then you got Paige Van Zandt, who hasn't fought in quite some time, versus Jessica Rose Clark. I mean, Paige Van Zandt, she had so much exposure, but the talent level just wasn't there yet, as much as we want it to be there. She by far the biggest win of her career. She came off Dance with the Stars and then does the karate head kick to Beck Rawlings. Do you remember this?
Yeah, that was the best.
So everyone's talking all this shit about it, right? She just lost to Rose. Rose ended up choking her out. Rose beat the fucking brakes off of her for basically 5 rounds, ends up choking her out. So then she goes Dancing with the Stars off a loss. And everyone's just talking mad shit like, oh, she's never going to fight again. Why would they market her, blah, blah, blah. Then you give her Beck Rawlings, who's no punk, and she does the Karate Kid head kick and knocks her out. Because you had all these new viewers. It's such a big moment for her. I was proud of her. And then you give her Michelle Watterson. She's just not at that level yet. Michelle ate her ass up. And that was a big one on Fox. So was her head kick of Beck Rawlings. That was also a big one on Fox. So she's obviously one of the faces of the division, and she should win this fight. Just from her sheer hustle. This other girl, she won her last fights or lost her last fights by split decision. I know she's gotten a bunch of decisions. Am I right on that, Chin?
I think she won her last 2, yeah.
So split decision, Beck Rawlings, not to hang your hat on. Beck Rawlings is a beast. And then split decision to Karina Dam. So Paige Van Zandt for the win here. I don't know what the odds are. I got Paige Van Zandt. I'll say by decision.
You want to try out the odds?
Sure. She's plus. Oh, shit. Paige is an underdog. All right. I like Paige as a dog then.
Cool.
Plus 105, minus 125, almost even by all right, Paige is my underdog. Bet. Vitor Belfort, God, dog. I mean, doesn't even look like the same man in that UFC picture. Uriah Hall. Dude, Uriah Hall, he used to train with us, is so goddamn gifted, it's not even funny. My only issue with Uriah Hall is when the going gets tough, where's he at mentally? And that's always been Uriah Hall's biggest issue. If he can put that together, I don't know if you get with a mental coach, whatever you do, and something clicks, you have a world champion in your hands. Those are big ifs. Because typically, At his age, he has that salty record of 14-8. At his age, if it hasn't clicked yet, it's going to be tough to get the clicking going. However, if you're going to fight anyone and you want to show off your stand-up skills, you want to fight Vitor Belfort right now. For the first minute with the blitz, it's going to be trouble, but Uriah Hall is going to kick his face off. You're going to get Uriah Hall, I'll say vicious KO, brutal KO. He'll get knockout of the night. They don't really give knockouts tonight, but you're going to see that. Oh, what's the odds on that? I'm sure Belfort is a huge underdog, right?
Plus
235. It's not huge, but all right, carry on.
Cool.
I love this main event.
Hell yeah.
Let me guess, Chin, you're going with Doho Choi?
Doho Choi. Remember I told you the first time, I was like, he's going to be super exciting?
Yeah,
all his fights are super exciting?
He's exciting as shit.
Dude, he's so badass.
He's super exciting. However, so you guys would remember Doho Choi from his fight with Cub Swanson, which was fight of the year, I thought. Amazing fight. Cub Swanson is a knockout artist like Jeremy Stephens. So his fighting style, as much as we love the Korean Superboy, and he can sit there and bang with anyone in the world, that doesn't work when you fight a guy like Jeremy Stephens, a vet who's beat some of the best in the world, who hits like a Mack truck. Yeah. So that brawling is all fine and dandy until you run into a guy like Jeremy Stephens. Because that brawling's going to get you knocked out. I'll say Jeremy Stephens via knockout or KO second round. He beat your boy Choi by knockout.
Oh, damn.
Knocks him clean out.
Huh.
And your boy Doho Choi fades off into the ether.
The one thing I'm worried about is because he got in such a crazy battle with Swanson. So I'm wondering if
it's been a while, though.
It's true. But I still get Doho Choi for sure. Knockout.
What should we bet?
I'd say the same round, too.
Him. What?
No, I'll say first round.
First round. Knocked him out in the first round? How dare you? The little heathen is a monster in the first round, too.
TKO, first round.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Steven's going to smoke him. What do you want to bet?
I don't want your Porsche this time because...
You can't fuck with the Porsche right now. Just got back from the shop.
Yeah.
Loser has to pick up Voodoo Donuts. It's in Studio
Yeah, I wanted
City.
to try it, so perfect.
Oh, thank God. I'm definitely in that, and I don't want to drive out there. All right. I got Jeremy Stephens via KO, TKO, second round.
Awesome.
There you go, man. Should we do some fan questions?
Sounds good.
Wrap this biatch up. Let's do it this way. So I'll start at...
The bottom ones?
I'll start at the bottom. You start at the top. We'll just rip through a few here.
Okay.
And then see what happens. Oh, man. This isn't fight related. This is at Visuals by Tim. This isn't fight related, but are you planning to tour New Zealand again sometime near future? Maybe end of 2018. I love New Zealand. Do you think Khabib is still too much of a risk for a main event because of his weight cut? At Mauricio _0732. Change your name if you want followers, but I wouldn't say he's a huge risk because he's done it once. It'd be a huge risk if you're going to put him on a world tour and fight Conor McGregor, but Tony Ferguson fight, I would give the okay to.
So Buff Daddy Sphinx is asking, how much will Francis' stock drop after a decisive loss to Stipe?
If he gets outworked?
Yeah, like if he gets jacked up.
Big time.
Because
the reason why that's big, this is a huge test for Francis. Let's say Francis goes in there and he has this, everyone's scared of him right now, but Stipe can show his kind of Achilles heel. Maybe it's against the cage or whatever it is, but he can expose some of it. The rest of the division goes, oh shit, got it. It's a copycat league, just like the NFL. When they were running Tampa 2 forever and everyone started doing it, winning Super Bowls, now the entire NFL was running it. UFC, same way. Oh, you just got to get an underhook against Francis and then drop the single leg. He sucks at single leg. Now everyone recreates that. Everyone can do it. Everyone's trying to figure this puzzle out. Francis would be fucked if someone finds that chink in his armor. I don't see it because I've seen guys trying to take him down.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. I also haven't seen him in the 4th and 5th round either. So if he struggles in 4th, 5th round, bet your ass if he fights Verdum next, Verdum's going to coast to the 4th and 5th round and try and take him down.
Yeah. Good.
This guy put, is this at Mr. _Jojo, is this Vitor's retirement fight? I think so, especially if he gets murked in the face.
In the face. Let me ask you this. Gary Masterson, 23, says, do you think Michael Johnson should be in the main event? So this is his hometown. And he's in the undercard, the prelims.
He shouldn't be the main event. I don't give a fuck where you're from. It doesn't really work that way. No. I mean, Woodley's from St. Louis, so if they were going to do a fight and have a hometown boy the main event, they'd have Woodley headline that fight. But just because you're from there, it doesn't work that way. And he's also coming off a loss, right?
Not main event, main card. Main card.
Main card. I wouldn't be mad if they took out Van Zant versus Clark and put in that. But listen, it's on the FS1 prelims to FS1 main card. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And also, you get paid the same. The viewership is probably the same. It's not that big of a deal. And he's I don't want to say main event, but he's the main fight on the prelims. But if it's an FS1 card, so it's different. Now, if it was FS1 to pay-per-view or FS1 to Big Fox, then I'd be upset. But it's all FS1. Hate to tell you, it's not going to do that well overall anyways. What else you got?
All right. Dead Words, 1991. I know Edgar is a legend, but does he even stand a chance against Max?
Yeah, he does, because the reason he stands a chance, because especially if he wants to, his head movement, but his ability to take the fight where he wants to go, and his pace. His pace, where Max is a slow starter, and Frankie can capitalize on that. And as Max comes forward, like Aldo couldn't do, Frankie will take you down. And Frankie can grapple his ass off.
Frankie's the man.
At Giorgio Scalavrios, again, bro, you got to change your Twitter handle or Instagram handle. Which division do you think is the most stacked? 170 by far, not even close.
You want me to go?
Go ahead.
Nihin Olove, another weird one. If Francis beats up Stipe, do you give Stipe an immediate rematch since he basically cleared out the division, or do you give Francis Verdum or Kane?
You don't give an immediate rematch. That heavyweight, they really don't. I mean, they don't. I guess they did that with Kane, JDS, but no, I don't think you do. Okay. I think, especially if it's just like super murked, you got to see. You want to build the Francis hype, so you'd give him a guy like Verdum, another legend.
Cool.
Oh no,
there's not like a bunch of amazing ones.
Yeah, a lot of Francis stuff. They're fighting next week, yo.
A lot of Duho Choi ones too.
Really?
Yeah, but they're just wondering who you would pick. But you already
picked
announced
them.
That, yeah.
GSP versus Khabib at 170 _ Smith _ I'll take Khabib there. Gaping Snail. So you do one more, I'll do one more.
Okay.
After this one. At Gaping Snail. Interesting name. Where do you stand on the gloves versus no gloves issue? Rogan bangs about it a bit. Keen to hear your thoughts. I'm actually not for the no gloves thing. I know Rogan's all about it. I think if you do no gloves, you're going to lose all your main corporate sponsors and Fox and mainstream media. It's going to look way more barbaric if you have guys with no gloves on. When people go, football would be safe if you had no helmets, we wouldn't watch it. That'd be a fucking nightmare. You just can't have it that barbaric. You just can't. You have to take some standards where people are like, all right, well, at least even though those front gloves aren't shit, it gives the appeal, the assumption that they are padded gloves.
Yeah.
No one wants to see a bare knuckle fight. That's too brutal.
Bass Van Bearden. This is for you. What was your favorite meal to have before a fight?
Chicken and obviously coffee and beets. I'd eat raw beets like a motherfucker. Yeah. All right, last one. Mm-hmm. At Nortiz84, did Mario Lopez hook you up with that E gig? Sure the fuck didn't. He has nothing to do with E. I auditioned like crazy to get that gig. Mario Lopez is what's he on? Entertainment or what the fuck's he on? He's a great guy, but he has nothing to do with me.
What was that show called? Do you guys know?
Extra.
Extra. There you go.
Extra. Yeah, he's on Extra.
Thanks,
no, he definitely didn't. I do love Mario, but he has nothing to do with that. I auditioned like everyone else did. And the guy carries on and goes, and does this mean you're transitioning to Hollywood realm, leaving podcasts and MMA breakdowns for good? Yes, because I had one show on the Golden Globes. I'm out of here. See you fighting. See you podcasting. See you comedy. I'm just going to ride and die on that. Come on, man. Definitely not. I'm definitely going to do more stuff with E and shows like that, but podcast MMA is not going anywhere. Matter of fact, it's about to get busier with news coming out soon. You got anything else, Jen?
That's it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. Enjoy the fights. Sunday, on FS1. They start at 7 p.m. Pacific. And again, we might do a companion for it. We're not positive, though. Everyone's busy, but we're trying to. So enjoy the fights. Thank you for listening. As usual, bigger, browner, badder. I'm out.